Hi, everyone, and welcome to Lake County Sentinel Entertainment Extra Beyond the Gates weekly recap. This is for the week of July 7th through July 11th. After having the 1 week hiatus, I'm still wondering why CBS did. I could see doing it with shows that have been on long, like Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful, but you're trying to build an audience here for Beyond the Gates, and then you take a whole week off. That's kind of, I don't know, it seemed a little odd to me, but we're back now this week and back with all the intrigue and stuff that's going on in Fairmount Crest. I thought that it was pretty interesting what was going on in, the just a lot of different stuff that we ended with before the break. We got so many different storylines going on right now, and I think that one of the things that's interesting is all the stuff with the articulates. I think that that came to a head today with Anita basically quitting. She quit the group at the end of the show. I don't think that will last. I think she will come back. I think it's just drama. I would have to think in a lot of musical groups, drama. There's a lot of drama, and this is just part of it. I think we'll eventually see an Articulates reunion, and they'll have a show, they'll have a concert, and it'll be great. I'm looking forward to it, so I hope it does come true. But you never know. But I think it was a good way to end. She hadn't been on much. Tamara Toomey, she took a little break from the show. I think it was probably worked into her contract. But so she was back here. I don't know if that was maybe filmed at some point also. But, like just to put in there, if her break is still over, I don't know. But it was good to see the Articulates today. And the drama with them. I have to say, Sharon is not a nice person. She seems to be the drama queen of the group. She seems like she felt like she was hurt the worst by Anita back when Anita left the group to go solo. But I think they'll eventually have a reunion, all three of them together. And so let's move on. I think we could just be clear here. The Kat, Leslie, Ted, Ava, Nicole storyline. Let's get to the two daughters first. Let's just make it clear right here and now. Kat is a bitch. Kat is being, written to be a bitch. And sabotaging Ava like she did with the clinic accreditation, and Ted falling for it. Boy, I'm stunned at that. And Ava not saying anything. Man, if I was Eva, I'd have been right in there, and I'd have been like, listen, she told me I didn't have to worry about it. She told me that we just did that so we don't have to worry about it, knowing full well that it was going to lapse. Kat is not a nice, and then the way she talks to Jacob, like she's Jacob's boss, like she's a cop or something. Kat is not a very likable character. Kat is not a likable character because Kat is pretty much a bitch. Ashley, with that whole thing, the Danny, Andre, Ashley, Derek quadruple angle or whatever the heck you're going to call it. Ashley's just she is not likable because she's nothing but a whiner, and she sure has to have her way, doesn't she? I actually loved it when she spotted Shanice and Derek at the I think they were at Orphe Jeans, I think, and she got pretty angry. Oh, wait, you turned down his proposal, you little witch. The guy was all excited that night. He's going to ask you to marry him, and you turned down his proposal, and then you're mad that he's out with somebody else? Yeah, no. He can go out with anybody. And you're there with somebody else yourself. You're there on a date with another guy, and she's getting mad? That's what I can't stand about her. And then acting like a complete bitch at work the next day. Man, Shanice is her supervisor. I'd write her ass up. If I was Shanice, I'd write her ass up right away. Ashley would be, she is a whiner, nothing but a complainer, never happy, but it did piss me off that Andre went on the date with her. When he basically had just kind of committed to Danny, and then he goes on a date with her. I don't blame Danny for doing what she did, but of course then, when Ashley thinks she's got Andre and he's her guy now or whatever, after one date, she tried to get a hold of Andre. And well, Andre's in bed with Danny, which was great. I'm not going to lie. I would really just love it if they wrote Ashley off the show. Like I said, have her, get involved somehow with something or be a victim of circumstances and get run off the road and killed or something. Kill off the character of Ashley. She is 100% the most annoying character on the show. I rant about it every week on here. Nothing against the actress who plays her. I've got nothing against her. I've got nothing against Jen Jacob, but I can't stand the character. Ashley's annoying. I'll tell you what, with that whole situation with, the triangle, Martin, Vernon, Joey, Smitty, Jacob, Bill, Marcel, Elon, and Ted, that whole mess, whatever it is, Martin's big secret. I love the other day how Vanessa just said to Joey, listen, this is how it is, and you're going to listen to me. And Joey had to give in. Joey gave in. It was, I enjoyed that. That was very good. But, I think that, I don't know what that storyline is. I want to know what Martin did, what Martin thinks that he did that was so bad. If he didn't do anything wrong, then why is it being covered up? Something had to happen there that would make Martin look bad. And they're referring to this guy as the racist or the racist bastard, which I like that one even more. So something's there. I don't know what it is, but we're going to find out. I don't think we're going to find this out. Man, this thing's going to drag on. I think this is going to drag on at least into September, if not longer. It's not going to be resolved. And I think there's going to be repercussions since. And I saw that preview at the end today, and they're like, Smitty's basically throwing Martin out, saying, if you can't be honest and tell me what's going on, then you can leave. And I like that. Martin's another character that I'm not loving just because how he goes about things. Like he's supposed to have all the information, but he can keep shit from everybody else. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of Martin in that way, in that case at this point. It was a nice change the other day. I think it was yesterday to see Nicole attack Leslie. Oh, Leslie, what a nut she is, acting like it was all Nicole, like Nicole instigated it. She absolutely instigated it, like you know, like she always does. But I'll tell you what really is, you know, another one. We'll get back to the storyline that pretty much everybody on the show is involved in with the Martin thing in a second. But I mean, I guess it's still but I'm thinking Chelsea's ex, is going to, she's crazy, I think. Yeah, I have a feeling that there's going to be a stalker storyline there. Because that preview they showed, and she's like, did you follow me? So I think something's going to happen. Look for Madison, Chelsea's current girlfriend. Look for Madison to get kidnapped or something, and Chelsea's ex to be responsible. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting storyline right there. Get a drink or I'll start coughing. So that was that's concerning. But I'll tell you what's really concerning: the racist, or as they sometimes like to refer to him as that racist bastard. First Martin comes home to find the guy playing chess with Terrell. Oh my God, I'd have a stroke if I was in his place. And then at the end on Friday, today, you see Martin at the park looking for Samantha. And who the hell is sitting with Samantha? The racist bastard. They got to do something about this guy. No, they got to do something about this guy. Martin's a congressman. There's got to be something they can do. Or how about this, maybe, Martin? Just come clean. Let's find out what happened. Could be a little controversial, but this might be a thing here where I'm like, okay, so the Duprees, they protect the Duprees, but maybe they go too far, because this might be, maybe it's not as big a deal as they're making it. Of course, we may find out that it's a really big deal, because we don't know yet. But I feel like this Martin thing is going to ruin more than one person's life. And it could cause him and Smitty to break up. It could. They got 2 kids together, so, we're going to find that out. Smitty being an investigative reporter kind of reminds me, I think I talked about this on another show, kind of reminds me of Mary Ryan Finelli on Ryan's Hope back in the 70s. And eventually, Mary got killed. So with Smitty, he's investigative reporters on a soap opera. Yeah. Your future is not secure. So, but I was really glad the show was back this week. I watched when the reruns. I watched the first day. A funny story though. This is great. Funny story about the previews is I did not know they were going to have reruns last week. So I'm sitting there on June 30th, the Monday, comes on, and I'm watching, and I'm like, that's interesting. Why is what is going on here? Why are they showing Nicole driving into the country club like they did in the first scene of the show? And then I'm like, and then I look it up and I see that they're going to have reruns the whole week, which is kind of odd. I don't know why I really don't know why CBS would do that. The show's been a hit. The show's been popular. And then you're going to cut the momentum and show a week of reruns? Kind of odd. Not exactly what I expected. I mean, I grew up in an era where there were no reruns for soap opera. There were no reruns. It was every day. 250 new episodes a year, and that was it. They were on Christmas. Sometimes they weren't on New Year's Day, like the ABC soaps, because, the Rose Bowl and things like that, but pretty much every day. It's definitely not off for the whole week at 4th of July. So, but we do live in a new era. I guess people are traveling, and maybe they don't want people to miss stuff. I don't know, but you can record it. You can watch it on your phone. But so CBS still hasn't given a reason for that. But let's just not read too much into that. Show's doing well. We're enjoying it. And, that's next week looks like it's going to be an exciting week. But really, if you've watched this show, if you watched all 19 weeks of this show, has there ever been a week, we're not counting the rerun week, but of 19 weeks of new episodes, has there ever been a week where you've been like, well, that week was boring? No, there has not been a boring week in 19 weeks of Beyond the Gates. So, I'm sure next week's going to be just as exciting too. And it's going to be great to get closer to finding out Martin's big secret. Okay, I think we're 95 episodes in now. We could find out soon. They don't have to hold it, but I think we're going to be, I would not be stunned if we are 130, 140, even 150 episodes in before we fully find out what Martin's secret is. But I like that at the end too. When they're at the park, there's some on location. I like on location. It's one of the things I like about, I started watching Bold and the Beautiful, which they had an exciting week. But one of the things I like about them is the location shots, the overhead shots of Los Angeles when they change scenes. I really like that a lot. Because it gets you a feel like this is a place, you know what I mean? And, so we're going to find out, what's going on with Martin. I don't know what it is. A lot of things. We got what's going on with Martin. We know that whole thing. What's going to happen with the articulates? The Danny, Andre, Ashley, Derek thing. Let's just end that one quick and have Ashley run off the road and Derek can date Shanice. Or you know what? If we have to sacrifice Derek too, let's just have Derek and Ashley run off together. Let's just let that happen. But let's get Ashley out of the picture because that's one of the most annoying characters I can remember in a soap opera in a long time. But, Eva and Kat, I think they're going to be sisters that hate each other for a long time. And that makes good soap opera. So we'll see how that goes. That'll go a little farther next week. We'll find out what's going on. And I think Leslie skates. I think she gets off scot-free on everything because Kat has tampered with the evidence so much that they're not going to have the evidence to charge her. Especially when they find out, and they will find out, that Kat broke into Eva's room and got the helmet and gloves. Evidence thrown out the window. Can't be used. But Kat is such a spoiled little witch that she honestly thinks she can do whatever she wants. I'd like to see Kat and Ashley in a cat fight. And neither survives. Because I can't stand either of them. So but we're going to find out soon about all this stuff. But it's good. It's great entertainment. But I'll tell you what, I think that's going to be it for today. We will be back next week. We'll be back on at 3 o'clock next week, and we shouldn't have any interruptions in shows now. Well, there will be a little interruption in, let me look here. We got to look. So we will be on regular on the 18th next week and the 25th. And then August 5th, we will either not have a show or we will have a show late because I'm one of the guys on our travel baseball team, the Cleveland Rawlings Tigers. I have to bring him to a national tournament in Cincinnati, Ohio. So I'm going to be there for 5 days. So that show will probably be later at night, but I'll mention something on the 25th, and we'll just have, later that Friday night, we'll talk about Beyond the Gates. But until next week, 3 o'clock on July 18th, which is my mom's birthday, my late mother, that's her birthday. Until then, I hope to see you somewhere around Fairmount Crest. Have a good week.